are dying, and you are killing us with the inefficiency and the bureaucracy.
President Donald Trump promised to drain the swamp and hasn't stopped doing just that since he was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. Considering the closet full of skeletons that just spilled out one mayor had locked up, it's no wonder the fight against Trump is so strong and unyielding. President Trump came under fire earlier this year for pointing out rampant corruption in Puerto Rico, resulting in a local failure to efficiently respond to the aftermath of Hurricane Maria last year. During the recovery process with the federal government, San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz regularly took to the airwaves to slam President Trump. Now, the Daily Wire reports on the unexpected turn of events that hit an anti-Trump mayor where it hurts. Early Tuesday morning, the FBI raided government offices in San Juan, Puerto Rico, including the office of San Juan's Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz, looking for evidence to substantiate allegations of corruption within San Juan's city government. Carmen Yulín Cruz is the outspoken San Juan mayor who appeared regularly on television during and after Hurricane Maria last year, blaming the Trump administration for failing to address the situation in Puerto Rico. Cruz even donned a nasty woman shirt in one interview. She's recently been making the rounds on late-night television on the mainland, appearing on Stephen Colbert's show to discuss and condemn the Trump administration's hurricane response. But, as administration officials, including President Donald Trump, have pointed out, many of the problems rescuers faced were the result of local failures, including a lack of infrastructure, government favoritism, and rampant corruption. Cruz and others are alleged to have hampered and occasionally blocked the distribution of much-needed supplies to Puerto Ricans without food, water, medicine, or electricity. And now it seems the FBI is trying to get to the bottom of exactly what's going on in San Juan. NBC News reports that FBI agents were seen raiding an office on the 15th and 14th floor of Tor Municipal de San Juan, according to authorities. The operation was related to suspected corruption in the purchasing department. "We are seeking documents and evidence that support this allegation," an FBI spokesman told NBC reporters. "This search will help us confirm if allegations are true or not. We will look through every document, bill, anything that will let us clarify the claims." Cruz commented on the raid on Twitter, pledging her total collaboration with the FBI's investigation. "If someone has done something wrong, they should be subjected to due process and face the consequences of their actions." That might include Cruz. Fox News reports that the FBI's investigation centers around whether Cruz and allies in the San Juan city government handed city business and city money to preferred companies, many of whom allegedly charge the city thousands more than other suppliers. Cruz's former director of procurement Yadira Molina apparently blew the whistle on her own offices and her boss, Mayor Cruz, last February, reporting alleged irregular acts to a local controller. Molina told officials that a supply company was granted preferred supplier status, which paid them more than 3 times what regular suppliers made, and that Cruz may have been responsible for inking the deal.
Joining me now is Congressman Ron DeSantis of Florida, a key member of several committees, including Foreign Affairs, Judiciary, and Oversight. He's also a member of the Freedom Caucus. Congressman, good to see you. Nobody would begrudge the people of Puerto Rico, after everything they've been through, of anything they need. But if officials are getting rich with aid that's supposed to go to people who are starving, who are hungry, who deserve relief, that's a crime. That needs to be stopped. How do we monitor that?
Well, you're right. Not only is wasting tax dollars, it's stealing from the hurricane victims in Puerto Rico. We saw this corruption after Katrina in places in New Orleans with a corrupt mayor. Unfortunately, in Puerto Rico, you've had a lot of corruption in the government for a long time. So I think that the administration should absolutely be very forward-leaning in policing that. If you can hold somebody accountable very publicly and very directly, I think that may deter others from taking a similar course. And it's just a tragic situation that some of those supplies aren't going to people who've really had their whole lives turned upside down. But there's just people who just don't get it in our society, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and let's be specific about how it all happened. I mean, the bloated bureaucracy that existed in Puerto Rico for decades, literally, was a result of the welfare state. They had all the benefits of a welfare society without all of the responsibilities that are entailed in providing those services to the public. And the governor's trying to change things. Governor Rosillo is trying to change things, but he's only been in there for, I guess, a little less than a year, and it takes a long time. In the meantime, billions of dollars of aid are going in to a corrupt system. It's a tough thing to handle.
Well, you also had in 2008 to 2012, Luis Fortuño, Republican governor, was very reform-minded. He was instituting reforms. Then he lost a narrow election in 2012. And so we had 4 years where there really wasn't much done to deal with any of the problems at the government. Now I think this governor is trying to do that. But you're right. There's been so many problems that have built up year after year that it's a tough situation. Yeah. But put aside the hurricane, which is obviously very difficult circumstances, the fiscal situation there was really disastrous. And so this is really, I think, a time for the leaders in Puerto Rico to say, you know what, we've got to do this a better way. I think the governor's trying to do that.
President Trump is lashing out after the mayor of San Juan blasted the White House over its response to Hurricane Maria. Now, this as some Puerto Ricans are desperately waiting for additional supplies. Let's bring in Jessica Tarlov, Democratic pollster and strategist and senior political analyst for Schoen Consulting. Also here, Beverly Hallberg, president of District Media Group and a fellow for the Heritage Foundation. Ladies, thank you for talking to us.
Hi, Julie.
I want to go ahead and read a tweet, and then I'll let you guys respond. Guess whose it is? President Trump's. Here we go. Such poor leadership ability by the mayor of San Juan and others in Puerto Rico who are not able to get their workers to help. They want everything to be done for them when it should be a community effort. 10,000 federal workers now on island doing a fantastic job. Beverly, I'll start with you. What do you make of the president's remarks and specifically the harsh words between he and San Juan's mayor?
Well, I've often been on record saying that I think President Trump's tweets are often ill-advised and unhelpful. But I would also say I understand why he may have taken issue with what the mayor of San Juan said. Now, if we want to look at a leader who I think is handling this well, we can look at the governor of Puerto Rico, who has come out and not only said that this battle of words between the mayor of San Juan and also the president is nothing but fodder, but also has said that the federal response has been good, and what we really need to do is work together. And with the president going there next week, I really hope we can see everybody come together, because this is about the people in Puerto Rico who no doubt are in dire need of help.
Jessica?
I respect Beverly greatly, and I disagree completely here. I think that the mayor of San Juan, if you watched her press conference yesterday, where she was pleading for assistance to make sure that the citizens of her city and of Puerto Rico more generally can survive after this, was completely warranted. She was talking about the conditions on the ground, the fact that President Trump has gone after, yet again, a sitting official during a time of crisis. He now does it to our own, and he does it to those abroad. We've seen him do it multiple times with situations that have happened in Europe. Shows how unfit he is for this office. He went after Barack Obama in 2016 about Louisiana flooding. He said, why are you on the golf course? He is on the golf course, just as he was last weekend. In 2012, he also criticized Barack Obama for what happened during Sandy, when Barack Obama was on the ground, even hugging Chris Christie. I just do not understand how anyone could defend this response, and we all understand that it is difficult to get to Puerto Rico. There's big, big water around it, I think, as the president said, ocean water, in fact. But they are American citizens, 3 million of them. I know they don't have electoral college votes, and I don't want to say that that is exactly why this is happening, but you didn't hear him talking to people in Texas or Florida this way.
And I'd like to jump in. It's not that I agree with his response, but I disagree with the feeling that the federal response has been poor. When you take a look at the tragedy that's in Puerto Rico, there is water there. The federal government is trying to get food there, but yet the transportation system, the roads, everything is destroyed. So we do see that the Puerto Ricans are in dire need, but I think the federal government is doing what it can. And I would even give praise to President Trump for relieving some of the pressure from the Jones Act to make sure that we can have other vessels get there. I would actually like to see that extended even longer, and I hope that we can, so we can get the people in Puerto Rico the help that they need.
Well, Jessica, I got to jump in real quick. Okay, so in response to your view on the way the president has handled this, or as you say, mishandled this, how do you truly believe the mayor of San Juan is handling this when she's on television, cable, network, broadcast news every single day? Here's video of last night's press conference, and look behind her. What do you see?
Bottles of water.
Yeah, you see aid and food. Why isn't it being delivered? That's another question. Because the truckers, the Puerto Rican employees are on strike. They don't want to move those food and supplies, or they are unable, or they are refusing. Some are expecting $50 an hour to do so. Now, when the president accuses Puerto Ricans of not necessarily trying to help themselves, does that then paint a not so great optic? Because the word optic has come up a lot this week. So what are the optics behind that press conference with all that aid behind the mayor of San Juan?
Oh, I'm sure she's not thrilled that that was sitting behind her, but that's certainly not enough to make sure that everybody has clean drinking water and food down in Puerto Rico right now. I think that the mayor of San Juan certainly wants attention, but I think she wants attention on behalf of her citizens. She also knows that President Trump is watching cable news all the time. I think she was speaking directly to him and to people in positions of power to make sure that their needs are being met as well as they can be. As I said initially, I understand there are systemic challenges to getting enough aid to the people of Puerto Rico. But to Beverly's point about the Jones Act, that got waived days later than it should have. And yes, it should be extended.
I agree.
Yes, and it's just sad
and that's because of the pressure.
Politicians exploit the lives of people who are in great risk, and that includes the mayor of San Juan. If I were a resident of Puerto Rico, I wouldn't want to hear my mayor speaking about us this way. I mean, President Trump lifted the Jones Act essentially to prohibit these foreign ships from being blocked from being able to deliver aid. So that has been done. I haven't heard one word of acknowledgement from this mayor, who is also calling out the administration because FEMA says that you need to contact them via the internet. Well, they don't have the internet. Well, yes, there are glitches in the system, but you can't blame it all on one man, the president, because the system was in place long before the president took office.
This is no doubt bigger than the president.
Much
he
bigger.
is the person who
but
is
she's going after him.
No, she is going after him, but she also wasn't this unkind about him initially. Remember, he tweeted, I think it was last weekend or earlier on in the week, I think she might have shown up on Fox and Friends, where he said that she was saying very nice things about him. So the relationship has deteriorated between these two people. But either way, at base, we never want politicization and exploitation of a crisis. But I think that we can all agree that the President of the United States of America does not need to spend his weekend at his private golf course tweeting in a disparaging way about an official who it looks pretty genuine out there that she's concerned that her citizens are going to die.
Yeah. I mean, it is the president's style. If somebody goes after him, he's going to punch back. That's just the way he handles things. I'm not saying that it's the best way or best scenario, but again, I mean, if I'm the mayor of a town whose people are dying, I'd worry less about tweets and news conferences.
And that's why I think we can look towards the governor, who I think has handled it well.
All right. Jessica Tarlov, thank you very much. Beverly Hallberg, thank you, ladies.